Hey everybody, Dave Hodges here, host of the Common Sense Show. So glad you're with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Defending God, family, country, and the oppressed. And we also try to lend a helping hand to you in many ways. And this show is one of those ways. We're going to be talking from the good people from C60 Evo. And this is going to be good. Chris and Patty, we're going to be talking about brain health. And you go,
Mm.
Dave, you just talked about brain health not too long ago when you talked about AI. Yeah, exactly. You can use AI right without problems. And I went through all that, but a lot of people aren't using it right. Well, we're going to look at brain health from a different perspective because so many of us are living longer. Did you know by the time you're in your 80s, you have a 1 in 2 chance of having Alzheimer's?
Mm.
So I'm hopeful that we can get something out of this that you all can use and apply. Guys, welcome to the show. Good to have you on board.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Great to be here.
Okay, so I know our topic is brain health. Where are we starting at?
I started by grabbing an 18-year-old cat whose brain was kind of warped down by the people getting two dogs, and the cat moved into a corner in the closet and didn't come out for 2 years.
Oh.
So I am giving Uma round two of her life, and she went from really crippled walking to what she is today. She's so beautiful. She's 18, maybe she's 19 by now, but Uma and I are going to be leaving in a few weeks to go on the road and tour together in an RV. So we're both doing something that we haven't done before, and I'm super excited about it. So I was just giving her a test being on the air for the first time. Not that we're promoting C60 Evo for cats today, but she is a fine example of success.
Too bad you
And it
still don't
is
have her up in your
about the
lap. She's
brain.
she's beautiful.
She's beautiful and she's a granny age, but it's about her brain improving. So that's just a little clue. And, a lot of people say, I'm going to give it to my cat first and see if it works, and then I'll take it. This would be super convincing to most people.
Well, one of the things I know is new learning promotes brain growth. And I have
Mm.
to confess to you, I still can rattle off facts pretty well, but occasionally I'm finding I'll have a lapse here and there, not very often, and it's usually really minor. I don't forget how to get home or stuff like that, but I'm trying to recall maybe 10 names I've talked about and I'll forget what was that 10th. Okay. So I got to take on new learning because I know that that fixes a lot of things. But what do you guys have in your bucket that can help? But let's get down to what the problems are and what we can do about it.
Well, I'm going to start with I love your concept of new learning because new learning absolutely will help your brain and help you process and help with neuroplasticity. But a lot of people don't realize that muscle development supports your brain also. When you exercise, your muscles release BDNF, which is a brain-derived neurotropic factor, and that is incredibly powerful for your neuroplasticity. What I'm about to share, I'll go ahead and share the slide here.
I gotta share this with you before we
Oh yeah,
start.
please do.
I just came, I've been back about a half hour from the gym. I'm happy to say that I leg pressed fully 300 pounds. Uh,
Wow.
I mean, well, listen, when I was in college, I could do 600. Uh,
Wow.
and I was a fairly good athlete, so that came naturally. In my older age now, I'm just trying to stay one step ahead of the burning bridge. But when you look at what I can still do physically, I think you're absolutely right because I still have really good memory recall. You go to high school reunion, I still remember the people's names. And you're right about the exercise part. And the research on that is unbelievably immense. We have so much data. Every doctor should be saying you need to do strength training 3 times a week.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, my
Every
my
doctor,
go ahead, Patty.
every doctor should be saying you need a spoonful of this before noon every day. And then you're going to have so many fewer visits to see me. Oh, I'll miss you. That's what every doctor should say. Oh, I'll miss you.
Yeah, but then they lose their meal ticket.
I know.
I
You
don't want
know,
to go down that road, but you know what I'm saying.
we started a show with William Mount the other day, and he had this
Huh?
big wad of hundreds, and he spread them like he was in Vegas, this big wad, and he goes, "This is how much I've saved on medical bills, and I don't know if that's okay to say, since I started taking C60 Evo. I no longer have this, that, or need this. And he went down a whole list and he goes, this is how much I'm saving.
Yeah,
And
you
he
can say
kept,
your own anecdotal account, but there are certain purveyors of truth out there that won't let you go any farther than that.
well, it was pretty astounding. I thought it was a
Nah,
really interesting
that
way to
that
say,
sounds
wow,
like
this
him.
works. Yeah.
That sounds like him.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I know he has quite the sense of humor.
Oh, and then he's throwing it. He was like, I don't have to do this or that anymore. It was cute. But that's what we want is to celebrate feeling better and not needing all kinds of remedies to just be normal.
You know what the worst kind of doctor is? You go in there and doctor, I'm having trouble with my balance, or doctor, I'm not remembering the way that I used to, and the guy's 75 years of age, and the doctor says, "Oh, that's just part of aging."
Mm,
And you wouldn't believe the people I talk to. I talk to older people at the gym like me, and some of them were told that until someone told them different.
yeah,
I had
yeah.
the most astounding comment from my body worker uh, just this week, where he said, I've worked 14,000 hours on human bodies of all ages. And you, I'm 73 years old last month, are in the top 1% of mobility of people your age. And I said, oh, bah humbug, I am not. He said, I've worked on so many people, and for your age, you're rocking it. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
given him Evo. So I didn't realize that Evo was that exceptional. I'm not bragging about me. I'm bragging about, are you kidding? It's that good because I'm used to it. Like I don't feel all that different, even though I had both hips replaced 2 years
We
ago.
got to leave young Chris out of our club because a nurse where I go to the doctor, male nurse, good guy, works out the same gym I do, and he was watching me do what's called a farmer's walk, and you put so much weight in each hand. Usually it's a kettlebell, and I do like 85, 90 pounds in one hand, same on the other. And he says, "Well, how much is that?" And he looked, he goes, "Oh my God, you got to be in the top 1% for your age group." Exact same phrase that you were told. So we're in a special club here. Sorry, Chris, you're going to have to get older before you join us.
And
Yeah,
what are we
yeah,
holding? Do we both have a
Yeah.
32-ounce bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, you've got a 16er. We
I
have
do. I
32s
do.
right there.
They,
But,
they,
And you can
I'm
drink
just a
and drive
nerd.
with this.
Chris just had a birthday, and I'd like to ask him to take his glasses off before I tell you. He had just turned 57. Is
No
that
way.
fair? Yeah,
Who's your plastic
57.
surgeon, Chris?
It's in
This
a bottle.
this is my
We should
plastic
give the
surgeon.
plastic surgeon a plug.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
that
I
this is my plastic surgeon. Or that and this, right? The reduo set.
That's
Well, I do
awesome.
feel like we kind of cheat with the remedy, but let's explain what we're talking about rather than just being so excited about it because we feel better.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, how neat to be in the 1%. I don't know if that's true, but he sure thought it was. And it made me really realize how exceptional this product has made my body move.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what really drove this particular presentation, because I'm always, looking for inspiration. Patty had a conversation with the wife of one of the influencers that we work with, and she shared, hey, well, she actually asked, like, C60 Evo seems to help when my brain stay calm when things are crazy, and if she's feeling really stressed out, she'll take it and she'll feel relief right away. And so I put this together. So remember, the FDA has not evaluated our product. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. We'll probably share some anecdotes. Better just to assume those won't happen to you. If you like the research that is available, there'll be a link where you can get the product if you're interested in trying it. And this is really just an explanation of, hey, here's what is happening to me. Why might that be happening? Because we haven't done the research to explain exactly why. This is my theory on why that might be happening. And
Chris,
you think
Chris,
about these, yeah.
you're not in isolated territory here with your scientific approach because what we're talking about is going to take more time to research from a longevity standpoint. In fact, some of the research I cited on what I did about the relationship of AI and cognitive decline was done by researchers in the Ivy League schools, Princeton, Harvard, so forth. And they said, hey, look, this hasn't been peer reviewed yet. But this is so important. We don't feel we could wait because we think parents need to know, and parents need to know for themselves. And I think what you're saying there is not only honest, but I also appreciate the fact that you're saying people should look at this. And the research, the definitive research will follow. It's not that you don't have research, but I'm saying the definitive,
Yeah.
we're within 0.05 chance of luck, with the result.
Yeah.
That's good. That's going to come.
Yeah, absolutely. We think that is going to come. So, as I'm thinking about the brain staying calm, as I'm thinking actually about a testimonial that we got a long time ago, we got some product to a lady out of the UK. She sent in her video, and it was very interesting because in the beginning of the video, she shared that she was in the middle of quitting smoking. And I don't know if you've ever smoked and quit or been around people who have quit. My parents quit smoking multiple times as I was growing up, and it was never a pleasant experience. Quitting smoking is breaking, a drug addiction, and it's painful. So I thought this video that this influencer sent in was gonna not be good. It turned out actually to be very good, and she said something that I'll never forget, which is she finds herself having a longer fuse with her toddler. Now, I don't know if you've ever had children, dealt with a toddler, maybe dealt with an adult that acts like a toddler. Like I think we are all experiencing some of that these days. Um, but there are some days where you have a longer fuse and some days where you have a shorter fuse. We would all like to have a longer fuse, and that all is kind of spoken about, I think, in this particular presentation. So we think about the cycles of neurological decline. I always kind of think in terms of cycles, and these build on themselves. The first one is neuroinflammation. So, right, if you're under stress, if you're getting a headache, right, because we're going to start a headache study, if you're staying calm when you think you should be crazy, or getting crazy when it would when it would be nice to be calm, then you're experiencing this neuroinflammation. You're experiencing an oxidative spike in your brain cells, and that can impact your mood. Next in line, you've got mitochondrial energy depletion. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell, and there is between 50 and 5,000 mitochondria in every cell in your body, except for your brain cells. Your brain cells have 2 million. It is amazing how much energy that your nervous system and specifically your brain uses relative to our other systems. So when you have mitochondrial energy depletion, the fact that there's 2 million mitochondria in every brain cell means that your brain is experiencing an outsized impact of that mitochondrial depletion. That's ATP. That's the energy source that the mitochondria produces for the cells to use. You get this loss of resilience and ultimately this loss of neuroplasticity. And
What do you
you were
mean by
talking about that
resilience on this? How does that term apply to this?
in terms of mitochondria.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you think about resilience in mitochondria, mitochondria can go through a similar process as senescence. You may have heard of senescent cells. They can also be called zombie cells.
Yes.
These are cells that normally, when they come to their lifespan and they're done and they're no longer delivering value, there's a thing called apoptosis, and that your body actually eats those cells up. So it breaks them apart and uses those components for other cells or other things. If that doesn't happen, then it's not just bad the fact that this cell is lingering around, it's taking resources and not doing its job. Let's say it's a kidney or liver cell, it's not doing its kidney or liver cell job.
Yeah.
That would be bad enough, right? Because it's just a waste of resources. It actually ends up sending out cytokines. It actually sends out it turns out that it causes inflammation. That same process can happen at the level of the mitochondria, right? So you can get these senescent mitochondria. That's this loss of resilience in your mitochondria.
I got one thing to tell you about because I want to see if I'm seeing this right. And this is just pure personal curiosity. My dissertation was on resilience,
Mm,
but we looked at environmental factors, like having a mentor, that kind of thing. Okay.
yeah.
And we looked at familial background as causation agents and so forth. But we didn't do anything biological. Do you think that the, trying to think of the phrases properly, that when we see people exhibiting resilience in the face of overwhelming stress and challenges, that this biological process you just showed is actually what's going on in the brain?
I think it's both. I think there is a mindset thing, and that that mindset helps drive your mitochondria, right? Because, I mean, just as an example, the placebo effect, right? You can literally create a rash on your skin from a lotion that should not cause a rash because you were told that it will cause a rash, right? There's, I promise you, in that rash that shouldn't exist, right? Because you're not actually experiencing a physiological thing, at least not from the lotion. Inside of that rash is dysfunctional mitochondria. So you're actually impacting at the level of mitochondria with your brain. So there is this intersection of how the mitochondria is functioning and how you think about things. It is well documented that if your mindset about stress is that stress is stressful and you attack it begrudgingly and you feel drained by it, that it will have a negative physiological impact on you. If you see stress as something that you can overcome and that you'll be better on the other side of it, and it's a task that improves you, you are better off physiologically. And that's probably some of the stuff that came out in your research.
Oh, yeah, well, exactly that. But we didn't entertain the biological aspects of this. But as I look at what you're putting there, it makes so much sense to me that I'm wondering if it's not a bilateral relationship and it's a chicken or egg thing. Okay, if you could feed some substance to help the mitochondria be more resilient, would that help people's coping mechanisms? And does positive coping mechanisms affect the mitochondria with developing resilience? Do you see what I'm saying about the bilateral effect?
So I think this fits perfectly in, right? So when people ask me, hey, if I'm thinking about longevity or a wellness journey or a brain journey, what should I focus on? And I actually offer, hey, maybe you shouldn't focus on C60 Evo first, right? Things you need to get right. You need to get your exercise right, your nutrition right, your sleep right, and all of that takes mindset. Because if you don't have the mindset to change your exercise, your nutrition, or your sleep, you will not change it. And so you see, in those four things, we don't fit. But when you add C60 Evo in there to help that mindset shift, right, to support those mitochondria so you can make that mindset shift, I think that's where we fit in.
Boy, this is what I like about you guys because you don't have an agenda other than presenting the facts. And
Yeah.
that's what we get here all the time. Okay, let's go back to part three.
Yeah, so neuroplasticity, that's what you were talking about. Hey, I need to make sure I'm using my brain. I need to play brain games. I also need to work out because that releases BDNF, that brain-derived neurotropic factor. It's interesting because it's brain-derived from your muscles. I don't know how that ended up happening. But this is the thing that ultimately allows you to process new information, to store new information, and to recall information. Now, here is what we think about how ESS60 might be impacting that resilience model, that resilience cycle. So one, we know it's a powerful antioxidant. There's a peer-reviewed published paper that shows it to be 125 times more powerful than vitamin C. So absolutely great there. Ultimately, oxidation coming out of the mitochondria is what's driving inflammation. We're going to talk about mitochondrial energy because the boss theory suggests that this is working at the level of the mitochondria and helping it work better and supporting that ATP production. Remember, ATP is the energy source, the actual energy source that mitochondria produces and the cell uses to do its job. And then, of course, this ultimately has the downstream impact of increasing neuroplasticity and ultimately preserving that calmer state. What is this molecule? I'll be super quick here. A lot of your audience has heard this before. The molecule was discovered in 1985. It's called ESS60. It was discovered by three scientists, Dr. Smalley, Dr. Curl, and Dr. Croto, who went on to win the Nobel Prize in 1996. I'm very proud to share our lab provided the material. Our lab has been manufacturing the material 5 years. We provided the material later, but for 5 years prior to them winning the Nobel Prize, we were delivering commercial quantities of carbon nanomaterials. We are the oldest and longest manufacturer and distributor of this molecule on the planet.
Very good.
The molecule, for various reasons, they thought would be toxic. They put it in a toxicity study, and this is where things really turn around. In this study, there were 3 groups of Wistar rats. The first group was given water, a control group. The next group was given olive oil, a semi-control group, and the best group was given olive oil with as much of the ESS60 molecule as we can get to dissolve in it. Typical Wistar rat lives out to 32 months. Of course, the control group that we're given water, you give a rat water, it lives its normal life, so they lived out to 32 months. Interesting to note that the olive oil rats lived out to 38 months. That's an 18% extension of life in Wistar rats. Lots of people are promoting olive oil these days. I agree with them. You should be probably consuming more olive oil than whatever you're consuming now. Use it liberally. But 18% is still amazing, right? But it's not 90%. And so the Wistar rats, given the ESS60 molecule dissolved in olive oil, lived out to 62 months, 90% longer than the control group. There was another piece of this study that is really fascinating, and that is that Wistar rats typically live out to 32 months, and they have a known amount of tumor mass in their body. So the longer they live, the more tumor mass they have in their body. You can see this tumor mass is growing as this rat is living longer. Even though the C60 Evo rats lived up to 62 months, none of them had any tumors, right? So if you were to project this curve, they should have had some sort of massive tumor amounts of
Right.
this, but none of them had any tumors. Now, I've shared this story with a number of people, and some people will say, oh, cure for cancer. And I will say, no.
Yep.
And then I follow that with another, no. Let's be really clear. There's a big difference between dealing with a cancer that has metastasized and potentially being a cancer preventative. This
Yeah,
piece of
let me
this,
say this too.
yes.
You have enough here if you have a sufficient data set and you had a control group and all that good stuff that goes with research, you have enough here to start putting out correlation effects, but
Mm,
not cause and effect.
yep. Yeah, no, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And so we know things. So this piece of the study throws this molecule into the, hey, it might be a cancer preventative. But we also know that things as simple as good nutrition, good exercise, good sleep are cancer preventatives. I
And then here's the problem with researching that, but it can be done. Then you got to do multivariate analysis where you isolate each one of the factors that someone's using, in terms of achieving good health. I'm so glad that you're so honest enough to say this because a lot
yeah,
of people that are talking about products today, they'll look for the silver lining and then embellish it and expand it without any justification.
yeah.
That's not happening here.
It's just not how I'm wired, right? I'm wired to be a scientist. I'm
Yep.
wired to be practical. Um, and I'm the geeky
Yep.
guy in front of you who really likes to present this information and try to be a good steward of this product as I get it into more people's hands because of all of the great testimonials that we have. So, what might be driving this? So, one thing to point out. So, this study, right? This original study where the rats lived 90% longer and had no tumors is called the Bati study. It's out of the University of Paris, and I'm very proud to share our lab provided the material, and our lab is mentioned in that original study. So, that's on top of being the oldest and longest manufacturer and distributor of this molecule on the planet. And then why might this be happening, right? This boils down to the BOSS theory. And the BOSS theory stands for buffering oxidative stress system. What gives credibility to this theory is the fact that from peer-reviewed published research, we know this ESS60 molecule gets into the mitochondria. We also know from way back in the 90s when it was discovered that it can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles on the exterior of the cage. So, quick refresher, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell. There's between 50 and we've already said this, 50 and 5,000 mitochondria in every cell in your body, 2 million in your brain cells. Like every power source we're familiar with, there is a negative byproduct, right? You think about your car going down the road, there's exhaust. You think about a power plant, there's a smokestack with smoke coming out of it. In the case of mitochondria, it's reactive oxygen species. Now, I like to picture these like if they're left to their own devices, they're like little bumper cars running around your body, and everything they smack into, they cause rust, they cause oxidative stress, oxidative damage, which sounds horrible, and it is, but like so many biological systems in our body, there's a way to manage those. And inside of the mitochondria, it's glutathione and melatonin, key antioxidants. Always worth pausing here. Melatonin is the sleep hormone. Our most consistent testimonial is people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. Sleep is part of our most consistent testimonial and is operating in the same mitochondrial arena as melatonin, the sleep hormone. So you can see here in a healthy mitochondria, you've got the reactive oxygen species. They're pictured as this tranquil blue color because they're not doing any damage. They've been bonded with some glutathione or with some melatonin, so they're not going to run around like little bumper cars. But what happens when you stress a mitochondria? Of course, how do you stress a mitochondria? Well, like I think we've already mentioned, if you're alive in modern society, you have stressed mitochondria.
Yeah.
And at that point, the mitochondria starts producing more reactive oxygen species than can be managed internally. So you can see there are some baby blue mitochondria, excuse me, reactive oxygen species. They've been bonded with glutathione, they've been bonded with melatonin, but you have these aggressive red reactive oxygen species. Again, if they're left to their own devices, they're running around, they're causing that rust, that oxidative stress, that oxidative damage. And that's where this ESS60 molecule shines. Peer-reviewed published research shows it's in the mitochondria. Way back in the 90s, you can see it here holding on to 6 negatively charged particles until that mitochondria can replenish the glutathione, replenish the melatonin, and then that glutathione and melatonin can manage those reactive oxygen species appropriately so that you don't experience that damage that's caused by those bumper cars running around and causing damage. And I know Patty likes to break this down, simplify this a little bit here.
I do. I think a lot of people don't really know the scientific words of mitochondria and melatonin and glutathione, exactly what it does for the body. So I'm going to keep it real simple. All you need is a bottle of this and a spoon, and you take it before noon, and you're going to be detoxing your system from head to toe. That's what C60 Evo does. That's what all of this scientific explanation is about, is a mondo detoxification of your system, but it's clearing the mitochondria, which Chris said is the powerhouse of every cell. He noted that you've got 2 million mitochondria in every cell in the brain, whereas the rest of the body has 50 to 5,000. Blood cells don't have any. But when you've got 2 million mitochondria per cell, and you take something this potent at detoxing mitochondria, your brain is going to be the first thing to notice. Mental clarity, less brain fog, most likely, memory kicking back in. I will cite my mother at 97, can tell you all of my naughty things I did when I was a teenager still.
No, I don't believe it.
Oh, God, her
There were
memory.
none.
Your mom's an angel and she raised one, right?
Oh,
She can say all
she's
the good things you did.
we're just both kind of bold, but at 97, she's still rocking. I'm just like, yikes, mom, but she has Evo every day without fail.
You got
And
to be careful how you say that. She has evil. It almost sounded like you said she's evil.
you know,
Careful. I know your mom's not evil. Got to
no,
be careful. It's
C60
Evo, not
Evo.
evil. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. Thank you. Dictation likes to write evil, and then they always correct themselves because they know I'm looking. But yeah, my mom at 97 uses our face serum and our edible oil. She looks incredible, and she still reads big, fat novels. So Chris can do the
Good.
science. I'll do the testimonials because everybody I know and love takes C60 Evo, and all I hear is testimonials because we're all doing really well in the world with our focus and our memory and our ability to see the big picture and have faith in what we're moving through right now. And I think, Dave, that's one of the most important things for all of us right now is to have faith that we're going to come out of this on the good side. I really can't wait to see the punchline, but I know we're in it soon.
Well, the book of Matthew says, fear not, and then it promises you won't be given more than you can handle. But there's nothing like an assist other than a bottle of whiskey.
Or Evo.
In other words, alcohol is not the answer here, is what I'm saying.
Here's my whiskey.
But a bottle of something else. I agree. I agree. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about resonating, and I don't resonate with liquor, but I do like to hit this bottle.
I hear you. Yeah.
Well,
Alcohol gets in my way. I can't get all the things I want to get done.
No, it makes you stupid.
It does. Well, that too.
That's why they're allowed to sell it on Sundays and at night. Yeah.
An
Okay.
interesting
Moving on.
correlation.
Huh?
yeah, so
Sunday
to,
alcohol and the day Sunday and what that's supposed to be for. Anyway.
So to kind of tie all this back together, right, is going back to this, neutralizing. And again, this is potential, this is theoretical. Why might we be having this impact? Neutralizing that neuroinflammation as that powerful antioxidant. Again, 172 times more powerful than vitamin C, according to an ad hoc web study. 125 times more powerful, according to peer-reviewed published research. Then
Right.
mitochondrial energy, we just talked about that. Its dramatic impact, according to the Boss theory. And then ultimately, those things are going to promote that neuroplasticity, that ability to manage stress, that ability to remember, learn, and recall things.
I want to say
And then,
something about neuroplasticity hasn't come up. What we know with like Japanese studies on centenarians, people that live to be 100 or longer, is that when they do all the right things, it shows up in parts of their brain like the hippocampus, that's memory related and so forth. And what we know is that when their brain starts to falter in one area, it's neuroplastic enough that another part of the brain picks up that function.
mm,
So neuroplasticity basically means the brain will help you to multitask if a part of the brain is not functioning as well. And
Hmm.
it's really a big factor, scientists are saying, in aging brains that don't succumb to dementia or to
mm.
Alzheimer's. And neuroplasticity is huge. And I wanted to make sure I got that part in because that's critically important for brain health.
Absolutely. I think it's paramount. And again, when you go back to this mitochondria and the fact that there's 2 million mitochondria in every cell in your brain having this boss level impact on the mitochondria, it's not surprising that our most consistent testimonial is that people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. And that kind of brings me to people will ask, hey, what should I expect to experience on ESS 60? And well, we think of it as a 3-month experience. It has parallels with that most consistent testimonial, and it starts with that focus and energy. And I lean on one testimonial here. We got some product to an influencer. She took the product in the morning. She sent in a video that evening, and she reported that she didn't finish her cup of coffee. Now, if you're a coffee drinker, like that's a big deal. And to notice, to one, to not finish it, and two, to notice that you finish, like this is a big deal. I'll share, I used to be a 2 to 3 cup of coffee per day person. Now I'm down to a half or 1 cup. Same, right? Same with you. And it's more, for me, it's more about the ritual, right? I come in, I make my cup of coffee at the office. I like the smell, I like the taste. I probably won't get rid of that ritual. But so that's month one, focus and energy. Month two is deep sleep. Now, I do believe that deep sleep is happening earlier, right? It's happening in month one, but everybody gets a little bit more or less sleep every night. So it can be hard to pinpoint the consistent improvement of sleep because you're getting less or more each night to the fact that you started taking C60 Evo. Eileen here, I think a good example is my business coach shared that for 50 years he needed an alarm clock to wake up. When he started taking this product, he wakes up before the alarm clock. And that's, late night mixers, late night business dinners, none of that matters. He wakes up before the alarm clock. Unless he doesn't get the product for about 10 days, at that point, he starts to need the alarm clock. And that coincides with the data in the literature that suggests this molecule gets out of your body in about 10 days. And then finally, on month three, if you think about what we're doing, fundamentally what we're doing is reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria. And if you think about that, we should have systemic benefits to, based on the fact that mitochondria is everywhere, 2 million in your brain cells. And we frankly just get testimonials that are so powerful, we have to do more research. In fact, we're hoping to start this year 4 research projects, one on severe and frequent headaches because of the testimonials associated with that, one on HSCRP. So HSCRP stands for high sensitivity C-reactive protein. It is in fact an inflammatory marker typically associated with cardiovascular diseases and cancers. We're doing a study based on one doctor's testimonial about his patient pool. We're also doing a more formalized sleep study. So we already did a sleep study. It was a small cohort of people. It was a crossover study. The most important piece of that study is 100% of the participants reported improvements in sleep when they were taking the product. So we're going to do a more formalized version of that, clinical trial quality data. And then finally, a wrinkle and age spot, because we have such amazing testimonials about wrinkles and age spots. Those are the types of things that people kind of report to us in month 3.
Okay.
How's your sleep, Dave? Have you noticed any change
Oh,
with
I get
using
up,
Sleep
I
Evo?
don't, unless I'm breaking my routine severely, I don't need an alarm clock. It's 5:25 to 5:30 every morning.
Wow.
Well, me too.
Yeah, every morning, same thing, without fail. And even if I go to bed, if I go to sleep at 11, I'm still getting up at the same time. If I go to sleep at 9:30, I get up at the same time. It's almost like my mind is telling myself when to do it. And somehow I know what time it is. It's bizarre, but it's been this way now several months, probably about a year.
Since you've been taking Evo.
Yeah, that's my anecdotal story, and I'm sticking with it.
My bladder wakes me up more than my mind at 5-ish. So, but I try to get back to sleep. Have you been hearing Uma yelling in the background the whole
No,
time?
not at
Oh,
all.
good. Yeah, she's like, I want to get back up there. Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
so now we're going to get into okay, people, you've heard, and our job here on this show is to give you options to optimize your experience. And we're going to go through some really, really hard times. And so you need to take care of your finances. We talk about that. You need to prep properly. We talk about that. And then we talk about other things that you need to do to optimize good health because you're going to be pushed to the hilt because we're changing the way that we have lived the last 150 years and we're moving into an entirely new era. And so you got to be ready. So anyway, on that note, let's go ahead and present this. And I'm going to
That's
take my screen
exciting.
off just for a second because I got someone trying to give me an instant message and I need to kill it.
So, what we are at is the landing page for this show, which is our name, his name, C60EVO, like evolution.com/ Dave Hodges. And if you go to this link, you will get offers that are not available on our website, just on the landing page, because we want people to give it a go and offer you some discounts. So, anything that's not discounted, I'll just mention in advance. Most people sign up for a monthly subscription because you save 20%. If you only do 1 month, that's fine with us. But sign up for a monthly, and that way it will come to you regularly until you say no, thank you, and you'll save money. Otherwise, we have these offers on Dave's page, which is a discount if you get 2 at a time, or a little more discount for 3 at a time, little bigger discount for 6 at a time, which we don't offer on the website, but we do offer a dozen case for 25% off. So all kinds of discounts between subscribing for 20% and 25% off for a case of 12.
Okay.
No matter what you buy, take a look on this link, this page, and you'll see that Dave has a code to get you another discount at checkout. So we're offering 3 different products for the 2, 3, 6 discounts, and they are our top sellers. We just showed you the olive oil. That's the one that's been in all the peer-reviewed studies. And then with this one is the inside and out set. We call it the starter set because when people say, where should I start? You've got all these products. We recommend the olive oil because it's the strongest on the market today, and the facial serum, which is all natural, 21 natural organic vegan ingredients that will change the way your skin feels within a few days, most people say.
Does it often
So
change the appearance?
I think I've heard people just feel generally softer, which would mean it most likely looks better too. But I know that people comment on my skin at my age, and I mean, I when I met Chris, I was just off 50,000 miles on a big Harley, so my skin was not happy like it is today.
I'll
Um,
share just as a response. That is the reason we're doing that wrinkle and age spot study, because of the testimonials that we get.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the bad headache with the big M study is because we're getting mind-boggling results. Really impressive. Two of our influencers had it happen while they were filming, where they felt it come on. They took a little shot of the C60 Evo, and it went away before it hit. And they were already having the halo, and mm, I can't even imagine. But this has been impressive enough that we're going to do a research project on it and bring in a lot of people, and then we'll be able to talk about it with approval. So,
When do you think you'll know the results of this?
That'll be a while. That'll be 9+ months of research. And we are hoping to start it by the end of the year. We have some technical hurdles that we have to get over. We're hopeful to get it started by the end of this year.
Okay.
yeah, they do it like a real lab. They actually, have everything documented, which it's going to be a great study. So this is the starter set, and again, great discounts. And then the other highly recommended product is we take our ESS 60 olive oil, and for people that travel, we put it in capsules. Or if you don't like the taste of oil on a spoon, you can buy the capsules and take them on your carry-on. They will not pull it like they will a bottle of oil, in my experience. So the capsules are great for briefcase, purse, glove box. They're to go, or they're great at home. If you just want to take your six in the morning before noon, you're going to get the same benefits as those of us taking it direct on a spoon. So the capsules, again, the 2-pack, the 3-pack, the 6-pack discount. And if you want to really discount and stock up, you can do the case for 25% off. And don't forget to use Dave's code, which is on this landing page somewhere. And if you want to see the rest of our products, they're down at the bottom of this page. We have face serums with peptides, hair serum with peptides, lip balms, just everything's infused with the ESS 60 Miracle Molecule. We have 3 flavors of oil, dog formula, cat formula, receiving rave reviews. We're just keeping it simple here for you to get started. And once you get going, you're probably going to want to try the rich body cream. Smells like tangerine. Loveliness. So everything we make is infused with the ESS 60 molecule, made in our lab in Houston, Texas. We are the only lab in the world making ESS 60, which is safe for people and pets. Chris has reiterated that if it's industrial grade C60, and I will clarify, most likely from China, you don't want to be putting that in your mouth or your pets' bodies. But online companies that are tricksters, even making claims of 90% life extension, no, not your product. That was this bottle, and it was out of our lab. So if it's ESS 60 from anyone, feel free. But if it's C60, you might want to be mindful because it could be from China and it could be most likely industrial. So, ever so easy, just hit the link below and you're going to get the good stuff, which is what
Give
we
me
deliver.
the landing page again.
Okay, sure.
It's
Let me get
our
that.
website and your name. It's C60EVO evolution.com/. Dave Hodges.
Okay, and then the code.
Is
It's
on
right.
that page. We like people to visit that page so they
You want
can
to go to
get
the
that
page.
code.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Okay, code's on the page. Okay, good. Because I was
And
looking for the code here and I didn't see it, so now I know why.
oh, it's there.
You got to get
And
rewarded by going to the page. Okay,
Exactly.
I
well,
get it.
Chris is disciplining all of us now. He won't let me show you all the other products, but we want to focus on mindfulness
The
of,
best discounts.
yeah, the discounts, but also what's going to give you the best results
Sure.
just in the beginning to start. Once you get hooked, you're going to want to try all the products, but this is a really nice, good start, and it's for at home or traveling. You're going to do really well.
I've been waiting all day for this, and I'm not waiting for you any longer.
Taking a shot?
I'm taking a shot.
I
Good
can't
for
see you.
you.
I'll do one with you.
Cheers.
All right.
Anyway,
Cheers.
I really appreciate the attention to
Cheers.
detail on the research and the honesty about the limitations so far. But time is going to erase that. The only thing that we won't have in our lifetimes is probably real detailed longevity. But you don't have to have that, hey, look at Big Pharma doesn't do longevity much anymore.
Hmm.
They used to. They used to have to. But
Well,
somehow those rules got relaxed for them.
I think their rules are shortgevity, not longevity, uh,
I've never
with the
heard
way
that.
they've been
I
acting.
love
But
that. I'm
you're
going to
welcome.
steal that from you, Patty. Shortgevity. I like that.
I just wrote it. You know, the videos I've seen today really feel like we are at the end of the line, where in Florida you cannot continue doing chemtrails, or you will pay $100,000 per
I saw
flight that
that.
you're caught. And if you're caught with stuff, even loaded into your airplane lower parts, they will ground the plane. So
Do they
if
make
it's,
exceptions for fertilizer and stuff like that?
I don't know. All I
Because a
saw
lot of
was the
it's the same dispensing mechanisms.
Well, I would imagine if they tested the formula to see if it's poison for
Yeah,
humanity,
I hear you.
wildlife, and the earth.
I
But
hear you.
the damage they've done, good God, and the fact that everything's coming to the surface now to be exposed and healed
Oh, yeah. We
is
can't talk about it on air, but Tulsi Gabbard's revealing some stuff that people
oh
need
my
to pay
God,
attention to. But we
I was
can't, we
trying
can't,
not
we
to.
can't go there here. But I would encourage people to pay attention. And it's being reported in the mainstream media. Just we can't talk about it here.
Whew,
I
that
know.
was huge. I mean, huge is going to be the perp walks and the videos of the endings. So this is about beginnings for each and every one of us.
I agree.
Just begin every day with a sacred shot of C60 Evo. Get your brain functioning, get your mind emotions extending with grace, and you're just going to feel overall better. I'm amazed at what I've been through that I'm in this good a mood every day. It's got to be the Evo. It's got to be the Evo, not evil. C60EVO, like evolution. Yeah. Got to
Well, the
watch our
effect that it
words.
has on stopping the cytokine storms, it does make people less evil.
For sure.
It does.
Chris
Because
remembered when I was offering free bottles to everyone in the Congress, like sodium pentothal.
oh my gosh, they
Ignorant.
would never take that. Are you kidding? They would have a coronary if they had to admit all the things they've done.
Oh, good. Chris, bigger bottle for each of them. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Listen, sodium pentothal for Congress, one can only fantasize. They
That's why I
really
said
can't.
bigger bottle.
You know what I'm surprised that hasn't happened, and this is off topic, but you know how they can insider trade? We do it, we go to prison. They do it, they become millionaires several times over. I'm surprised a citizens group has not risen up and done a class action lawsuit demanding a share of the profits.
Well, there are groups that are actually following the congressmen so that you can invest in their portfolio
I've heard
and
that,
follow
yeah.
and do exactly what the congressmen are doing. It's like,
There's like a website called Pelosi Watch or something like
yeah,
that. Yeah, I've heard that, Chris, and it's, yeah. But you know what? I think they shouldn't be allowed to keep it. I think they should have to share with the people.
yeah.
But anyway, we're sharing something good with the people right here with C60. Just
Evo.
my audience, I get really good feedback from the audience on this. And I have to say it honestly, they're just anecdotal stories, but we're not getting any I got ripped off stories or this made me sick. I'm not getting any of that stuff.
How
Good.
has it
So,
improved your life since you started taking it, Dave?
well, one I think is what we talked about already. The regular waking up is just phenomenal, and I think the other thing is too is maybe it's part maturity, but also there's more mood stabilization. Things that would generally just really send me to a 10, okay? I might start and I can find I can control it, capture
Mm.
it, and just basically zero that out.
Like
And
you have a longer fuse.
a much longer fuse than I used to. And some of that's maturity, but some of it's come across rapidly. So then you start looking for what are the environmental factors.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, this has been very informative. I love the slides, Chris. I feel
Oh,
like I
thank
feel
you.
like class is in session every time you give me a slide.
Pay attention to the geek at the front of the class.
Pretty amazing stuff. And this won't do to you what AI does. That's all I got to say. By the way, I should say this too. I got to give a disclaimer. If you interact with AI and take AI to deeper levels and ask questions and that kind of thing, that actually adds to your intelligence.
Mm.
But when you just passively take it, they're finding real cognitive decline real
Yep.
measurable effects in like short-term memory, long-term memory. And when you get into old age and your memory part of the brain, the hippocampus becomes so critical, it has a cumulative effect. So it's anyway, but cumulative effect here I think is positive. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. Good stuff. Let's give out that information again. You go to, and I turned the page over,
C60
E60. Go ahead, Patty.
C60EVO, like evolution,
right?
.com/Dave Hodges.
Exactly. Okay. Think we got it, folks. You need to take care of yourself, and we've just given you another option. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank
Thanks, Dave.
you.
Take care.